I don't really know how much people get out of these no handicap games, honestly. They're not like... I don't really know how much... Because I don't really have to play any specific way to win. The thing is, like, I can easily just play regularly and get enough of an advantage by playing regularly and waiting for you to make mistakes. Because you're inevitably going to make a lot more mistakes than me. This is kind of how the game works on a certain basis. It doesn't really matter how much time you actually have to think. The sense of the game, my sense of the game is just going to be much better. And you can't play the same way against me. You can't play the same way against me in an even game as you can in a handicap game. Because that's just not going to work for you. Because in a handicap game, I have to take, I do have to take certain risks to make up for the various, I have to take certain risks to make up for the various, you know, like that move right there. You're losing a little bit by trading this for that. I do have to take you do have to take certain risks. Hey, I do have to take certain risks, which makes unfavorable plays for me. If you're playing an even game, I don't necessarily have to attack you for anything. Like that move right there, you know, I could attack it, but I guess I will. But I could easily just make a move over here as well. Like I could have just played c5, which might have actually been a better move. Or I could have just forced this way as well. See, that's just a bad move. You're letting me solidify these points over here. Like, you're basically giving me this territory. This is not a successful invasion. Just testing to see what your response for the most part for this. If you're willing to give me the corner, then I'm more than happy right now. You're not willing to give me the corner. That's fine. Okay, let me look at this. If I do this, cut here, what happens? I probably should have just, when he played this, I probably should have just played S5 instead. I'm going to go ahead and just disconnect to see what he does. I don't think necessarily this is a great way to handle this, though. This is probably a mistake by me. This is most likely a mistake by me. Yeah, that's definitely a mistake by me. I should have just played S5. This is definitely this is most definitely a mistake on my part. That's a mistake on his part, though. I'm going to extend back out because I'm not going to go over there. If I can get this block on Sente, I'm actually pretty happy with this. I'm not going to extend down because then if he goes over top, I have a lot of problems. I think he does need to respond to that. May not be like great for me. I'm gonna go ahead and this is not something that he should actually respond to, but I'm gonna see if he does because this is not big enough. There's only about 15 points in here. There's moves that are way bigger than this. There's moves that are much, much bigger than this right now. But, you know, I'm okay with this because I got to extend. But I could have just extended down and probably been Sente. So this is not a good thing for me. Yeah, giving up that corner was just definitely not a good thing. I don't think he doesn't need to respond to this, but I think I should have just played over here, honestly. Because this is pretty much solidified. And I am going to play... I'm going to play E8 next. Not really sure where you got that one from, but still. I think I'm just going to take the bottom territory. This is not what I would do as white regularly, because it does let him build up the top, but I'm going to see if he's actually learned how to use that influence. Okay, that's fine as well. I'm going to come down up here just to take away some of that. I'm going to take away as much territory as I can. I usually wouldn't do this in a regular game because most people, like at the 1-dan level, do actually know how to play against things like this. He doesn't, but most people at the 1-dan level will. So I wouldn't do this I wouldn't do this regularly. See, like, there's no way that a person at the 1-dan level would actually play that, because this breaks up the shape way too much. You basically used all these moves to get your Moyo up here, and this basically completely breaks that. See, that doesn't really do any good, because if I do this, even if I let you get this Moyo thing, it's not really that many points. That's fine. I don't mind you attacking down here. I'm going to directly attack here now. This is more or less connected, so I'm not really afraid of this. This, I mean, that's actually not a bad move. This is actually not the wrong way to approach this. Okay, here I can come down. I'm just going to go here first. I'm probably screwing this up somehow. I just don't exactly know how, but I'm probably screwing this up. He can't come in this way, though. Like I said, he can't come in this way. Is getting a couple of points on the bottom, but you can't do this. Not this way specifically. Because I'm going to go this way and come out that way. And that's going to be very problematic for black. Could also try this, but that probably wouldn't be good, so I'm just going to come out this way. The way you Atari this stone here is actually very important. If you do the wrong way, if you actually Atari the stone wrong, you won't be able to get out. You do sacrifice a couple of points down here, but definitely not a big deal. Don't think I'm going to do... I mean, he can still cut here. Guess I can do this. Just to make sure. Okay, that's fine. He didn't have to answer that. There's always a, I mean, this is, you'd probably just try to invade this right now at this point. You probably wouldn't answer this, but I can go down here later and take away these couple of points here. This does actually pose a couple of problems here. You can come down this way. I'm just gonna come up. I am just going to basically more solidify this territory because it's enough for me to win by quite a lot. Attacking down here would be very difficult. I'm not extremely good at killing this stuff, but it would be very, very difficult for him to attack down here. It's perfectly fine. He has a lot of problems in this area. So that's not a good move. This is one where you can easily get encircled. Okay, maybe there's something I'm missing here. I don't know. I personally don't think so. I think there's just too many problems here for him. Okay, so let me actually get this right. Atari there. Go down beneath, crawl, then connect is probably fine. Or I can just go this way. I think going this way is safer, actually. Not really sure if there's a way for him to actually live here. I don't think there is. I just have to be a little bit more careful. And he's left a lot of problems over here. Well, maybe not that many. No, there's no problems there. Might be safer for me to do the other thing, because now there's this problem here. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. I would have come down as black here, because you have some threat here. You might be able to destroy some center territory here. You're not going to be able to save this, I don't think, but if you came down, it would cause me some problems.
You have won.
Yeah, so here, I think I would have come down this way, because if I do this, then you have the option of coming this way here. So that would actually give me a couple of problems. I'm gonna play someone else next time. I usually don't play 2 games against the same person in the same day, so this is fine. Like I said, here you're probably gonna want to go here. You're gonna here or here. If there's a corner open, you want to go on that open corner instead of just getting the center territory. Getting the center territory, there's all kinds of invasions here, so that while that's looks good for a lot of people, it may not be the best. So I did this here. I think maybe I could have probably just forced this way. I could have easily done this as well. Just chose this. That's probably not the best option, but it's okay. This is a bad move. Solidifying me down here is not good, because that takes away a lot of the AG on the corner, and it makes invasions a lot more difficult. So this isn't a successful invasion. There wasn't that much, this territory was never mine in the first place, and you made me a lot stronger here in the corner. So that's not a successful invasion. This is also not a good invasion. When you did this, I should have just done this. Generally, if you want to kill this stone, you have to do something like this. Because if you do this and I do this, it's actually quite hard to kill. You can't do this because this will obviously give you problems. And obviously if you connect this way, I'm going to come up this way, and that's not good. So when I do this, it is actually pretty difficult for you to answer. If you block and I hane this, then it is, I think this is, I don't know, I think this is pretty much alive, right? Yeah, I can actually live in the corner if you block. I can also opt to do this. If you come here, actually here I probably wouldn't do that. I might just, if you do, what's going on now? If you do this, I might just opt to, I just might opt to do this instead. Now, I might just opt to do that instead, and that achieves my goal and gets me the corner as well. So that's a big win for me. So yeah, you can't, blocking down here would be difficult. If you did this, there's kind of a couple of problems in doing that. I think I do have the ladder here. I'm not sure. If I have the ladder here, then you don't have the option. And if you do this, I can just come here and kill your group. So I don't know how this actually turns out. Actually, I might not be able to kill it, actually. Not exact. I think this would actually give me a lot of trouble. I think this probably kills it. I'm not 100% sure. If you do this, I do this, it's dead. I think you're still dead here. Yeah, you're still dead here. So I can actually kill this group here. You could try this, because I do think you have, no, that ladder doesn't work because I have this stone here. You would have to keep, actually, yeah, that ladder just doesn't work, so I have the stone. I'm pretty sure I have the stone there. Let me just go ahead and play this out. You might have the ladder here. I would have to calculate this ladder more carefully. I don't think it works for you, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, it doesn't work for you. So you can't play that ladder. So there's a lot of problems. There's obviously a lot of problems for black. There's obviously a lot of problems for black here in the corner. So if you play this, if you actually play this, and I come down here, it's more or less a live corner. You can't really do anything about that. So here, once I do this, I would actually just cap to see what happens, and then connect here. The sequencing is very important. If you connect there, I'm not really sure what I can actually do. Yeah, because I don't think this works well for white. That doesn't really work at all for white. So this would actually put me in a pretty hard position, because I don't really know how I would live here. So I think that was a mistake when I pushed up. Now I don't have to push up. I could have just blocked, I think. And that's probably what I should have done, because there's very little way you can actually kill me here. This is already alive. There's very little way you're going to be able to kill this. So I should have just blocked. This was a big mistake by me. Letting me extend out. Yeah, when I do this, you don't have to respond, because the most I can do is do this. And that's not a good idea for me right now. And especially when I do this, you really don't have to respond at all. This corner is maybe 10 points, and it's not big enough for you to answer. I said that while I was playing as well. Like, in the beginning of the game, you have to remember there's a lot of big moves out there. And if protecting 10 points isn't worth it, then don't protect the 10 points. Because if you protect the 10 points, you're going to be losing on other sides of the board. So this is definitely a pretty big loss. This is a pretty big loss for black, since he actually like answered all these things. I'm going to come out here. So generally for white, I think when black does something like this, you probably answer this way, or you could probably just come out here as well. I was just greedy for the points. Don't do this in a regular game, because at this point, trading the points on the bottom for the influence outside is not worth it. The influence on the outside is worth a lot more than the points on the bottom. This he didn't respond to. I don't think this has as much value as something like this, or maybe just force something like this, because you have this wall here. You actually do need to use it, because it's the same. Like, if you play here, it's pretty much the same without this wall. So trading this move for this move, I feel like, is a little bit of a win for white. Also, don't do this. This is also like a greed territory move. This is not a good move. But like, I always like, I'm basically betting that because I'm a stronger player, he won't know how to use the influence. If in a similar ranked game, this is definitely a lost move, because you're getting some territory down here, but the influence you're trading up here for black is not worth it. Here, I don't know. I think this would probably just be fine. You don't really. Yeah, his play is actually fine here. When I do this, just back off. Like yeah, just back off. Your shape is fine. You're not giving up too many points here, and you're getting a lot of moyo here. So, like, when people play a move like this, it's just to see if you know how to like back off. Sometimes you need to hane like solidly. Sometimes you need to back off, and it depends on the shape. Because if you do this, there's an obvious problem when I do this. So if you just do this, you're giving up 1 point, and now you can just block safely. And this is like the moyo that you've gained here is going to be worth way more than the couple of points I gained down there. So this is why like you don't really do this move, because trading a lower move for an upper move, that's 100% to black's advantage right now. Trading a lower move for an upper move. So like in reality, like what would white do? I'm not really sure. White might just outright just like try to break this moyo. I'm not exactly sure. Like white could play something like this, and you know, just to break up this moyo. Black has the option to do something like this to keep some territory, but like I said, trading a lower move for an upper move is not worth it right now for white, because you're giving up way too much. This is horrible. This is probably better. Even if you just play it this way, at least you're getting some territory in here and making it much harder to invade. You could just straight up block, sacrifice some of this over here, and go on the upper wall. Even this would be a lot better than letting me come through here. Because this is honestly like the worst result. Here, like if you would definitely do something like this. Because remember, you spent a lot of moves building this, so you want to at least keep some of this territory. Letting me do this just destroys more of your territory. This is like too loosely based. You don't have E9 yet. You don't have E9 yet, so making this moyo isn't really that purposeful right now. Lets me invade here. That's actually a pretty good move overall, I think, to respond. You could also go this way and have me jump up. This is like wanting to kill this stone. I'm not really sure how possible that is right now. I think if you want to kill it, you would probably go here. Because you don't want white to get the free P13 move. Coming here kind of disrupts that, and if white doesn't do something, you can always like just play R13. So I think if I wanted to kill white, I would do this. This is fine. You can't do this because of the reason I just told you. You have to do this, but you would still go for this move in the end. However, this might give you a bit of trouble if you were to do that. I guess not so much really. I don't know how this actually works out. Not really sure how this actually works out. It's a pretty complicated fight in there. But this type of group tends to be pretty hard to kill. I could also come out like this, I guess. There's just a whole bunch of like... There honestly is just a whole bunch of things that could possibly happen here. I don't think that works out for me. There's just a whole bunch of things that could possibly happen here. And definitely not all of them favor white. There's a lot of like there's a lot of things that could actually happen here. You can study this kind of shape for a long time, but realistically you just have to play it out a lot of times against opponents to see how it works out, because you know there's other things like this as well that may not actually work all that well for black. So I'm not exactly sure like how this works out, but if you want to kill it, I would actually do this move. If you want to try to kill it, I would actually do this move. You can't do this because obviously like... Now here's the trick that... here's the Atari I was talking about. You can't Atari this way. If you Atari this way, you might be able to live if you Atari this way, but you have to understand that like sacrificing two stones like this ensures that white gets out safe. Yeah, you give up these two stones, but these two stones aren't worth much, and it's much better you just get out safe. And this doesn't work right now because you can just do this. Decided just to play it safe. I don't think you needed to respond there. You would probably do this right now. You've built some moyo here, so you actually do need to make use of it. Just try to make some territory here in compensation. Letting me get the extend. You would not play this right now. I probably shouldn't have even answered this, but I just wanted to be safe. Me having 2 stones here, I think, protects us a lot more. And I'm not really afraid of you cutting off this entire group. That group is gonna live. So here, what I would do is I would probably just play here right away. This stone is very hard to deal with. I don't think I can actually kill the stone. If you don't want to go that far, you could also just do that. You could try to do this. You could also just directly try to do this. Or like this. These kind of moves are very hard to deal with. It's hard to surround them because black is very strong over here. It's very hard to surround them. Giving me an extra move here, though, that makes it a lot harder to attack. You could play like this. It's very hard to destroy this territory now after I make this move. You could try to directly attack down here, and this would actually be pretty hard to respond to. Because, actually no, that wouldn't work. Maybe something like this, not exactly sure. Probably don't know. I don't think I would want to do that. That would be pretty hard for black and white as well. I don't know if you could live down here, but you know, there's a lot of ways you could actually attack this. Either way, like something like this would actually be a little bit harder to deal with. I don't know how you would surround the stone. I guess you could try this. But, you know, there's various ways that this would actually be kind of problematic. And remember, I have to mine these 2 stones up here. So there's a lot of ways that this could actually be very problematic. This is an easy cover for white. When you're doing this kind of move, what you're really trying to do is you're trading white's bottom territory to try to get some top territory here. But since I have E9, this doesn't work all that well. That invasion doesn't make much sense because that's an easy cover. Like when you invade these territories, you either want a move that actually has some possibility of you making 2 eyes, or that actually has some possibility of, or is very hard for the other player to surround. Like if you play here, it's very easy for me to surround. If you play here, I can just go under. If you play here, I can just go out on top. That's why this kind of shape is very difficult. Now, if you combine stuff like this, then it gets more difficult for me. Yeah, if you do that, it gets like, you know, it gets more difficult for me. But the thing is with this, I don't really care. I still have a lot of territory over here, and you destroyed your entire moyo, so I'd be happy with that. But you need to, like, when you're invading, you either need to like invade an area where you can actually get 2 eyes, or that the enemy can't easily surround you. That's why I said, like, you know, this move might be hard for me to surround. But playing that, this move is an easy surround. There might be some Aji here, but I don't see it really. I think like if you wanted to try to live, you would probably do this. But it would be hard either way to try to actually live here. So I don't actually think you can live in here. You know what I should have done? I should have just done this. You've given up enough points for me here that I can just safely capture this. I shouldn't have tried with this. Because, like I said, if you did this, I would have problems. I can't, like I said, I can't do this. I definitely cannot do that. here I would probably just have to, here if you did this, I would probably just have to give up this side and go down this way. And probably just kill this, because that's worth a lot of points. You still have to fix this cut here sooner or later, so you can't quite freely just come down this way, because then I can just cut. I mean, that's game over because I just killed all of this, and there's no way black can get enough territory. Sure, what's your rank? What's your rank? Do you have a... What's your rank on OGS? I take 4 to 14Q. Send me a challenge for a non-ranked game where you're black. So send me a challenge for a non-ranked game where you're black. On OGS. 7Q is fine. So send me a challenge, non-ranked game on OGS. Time settings, 10 minutes and then 10 minutes time and then like 30 seconds of Bioyomi. 5 to Bioyomi. So like 10 and then the regular Bioyomi thing. I like to keep the games like fairly short because like for people watching, if I give like 30, 40 minutes, like people tend to think forever and it doesn't really make for good content. And also like part of the point of Go is to develop your instinct. So like if your instincts get better, you get much better as a player because you can think forever and not make a better move.
Received. Game started.
Do you want a handicap or not? And well, actually, you know what? You should turn off the stream if you're playing me. I usually do play handicap like 3. I don't mind playing even, but I usually do like handicap 3 or 4 with 7Q. You know, the thing is, like with 7Q, like handicap 3 or 4 with 7Q is like the most likely scenario where I lose. I'll just pass twice. This is how I give handicap.
Pass.
Because like sometimes it's very, very hard to judge 7Qs of like how good they are at certain mechanics in fighting. And sometimes I'll make mistakes on purpose and they'll catch them. And that's how I end up losing these games. You're at that cutoff, like 7Q's at that cutoff where there's certain things you see and like certain things you don't see. And I have to bet on the stuff that you don't see. And like, if you've watched me a lot, like you know these Joseki, so it's very hard for me to take advantage of this. Because if I can't take advantage in the beginning of the game, it is actually pretty hard for me to like get the points back. 3 corners, that's fine. I think sometimes the best invasion in an even game is just the 3-3 if he does something like this, or you just approach back here. But I'm behind by a lot, so I kind of have to, I'm going to try to make something happen. Like lower handicap games and higher handicap games don't play the same way because you don't give as much of a you really don't give as much of a spot on like the lead, so I'm basically trying to pull back a much smaller lead. But handicap 3 is still spotting like 30 points, so you have to make it work somehow. And like I said, 7Q's at that rank. 7Q is kind of at the rank where not all these goofball moves I make actually work. So I do have to be a little bit more careful. Like, I can't make as many crazy moves as I do with like lower ranked players. But I do have to deprive territory if I want any chance of winning. It's actually not a bad way to start that. That's an adequate response. You can also play P3 or Q3. Or obviously I'm going to force this way. I do believe the group over here would actually be weaker. This is also a decent set for me because I can kick here and secure the corner. Yeah, so like in handicap games, like learning openings, like if you learn openings well, it's much harder for white to give you a handicap because you're not like losing a lot of points right off the bat. I think for this, I realistically think for this, like Q12 is probably better than P12. I'm actually going to come down. I usually wouldn't do this. I don't want him to be able to play R8 later. Attacking this while gaining territory, that's very nice. I'm going to try to bring this into it. Okay, attacking this group, that's very nice. Splitting me up into two groups and attacking is generally going to be the way to go here. Since I'm not afraid for this bottom group, I'm going to keep jumping this group. He didn't answer C5 yet, so I have something there later on. Still not really afraid for this group because I can just play this at any time. I think I'm going to invade here. I'm leaving a lot of weak groups because like I said, I did spot a lot of points to begin with. So I actually think this is a pretty good it's not a bad strategy. There also might be something down here in the future. Not sure if there's anything right now because this is fairly strong, but we'll see. I think the one jump would be a little bit safer, but I actually like the two jump myself. Continue jumping. I am also going to jump over here because I don't want him to be able to get the overhead. That's fine. Let me just go down this way. Technically, I don't have to do that. I technically don't have to do that because this particular move is always here for me to make that group alive. Always going to take this advantage first. And I actually just might leave this be and basically work on the security of this group. Because remember, these two groups here are weak, and I've got to do something about them. Oh, if you let me take this, I'm taking this. Okay, this is not good, because this actually is a lot stronger now. Letting your opponent take this in this situation is a pretty big loss for black. This actually can connect to this now, and it makes me a lot stronger up here. Okay, now he's attacking this group. But this group has ways to deal with this. I think you probably should have played this first. It's very hard to kill this group. This group is very bouncy. It's very, very hard to kill this group. This group might be in a little bit of danger. I'm gonna have to play S3 or S3 sometime. Yes. There is a squeeze here, so I do have to watch out for this. If he squeezes here, I'm actually in a bit of trouble. Let me fix this first. I probably should have just played down here, but we'll see. Remember, this group down here is still pretty weak, so I gotta watch out for that. That's actually what I was waiting for. I needed time to actually play this move. Yeah? What question? Is he gonna actually play this Ko? He could play this Ko. That would be a little bit problematic for me, I think. Not overly problematic, but a little bit problematic. Okay, so that's not good. That's definitely not good for black. I'm gonna leave this alone. He can. Those three aren't that important. So I can live one of several ways. I can just connect this and live, which I'm very tempted to do, which I think I'm going to just do right now. I'm not too afraid of this group up here. I think I'm okay with that. How do I construct a Go study schedule that I can use to progress efficiently? I mean, it depends what level you're at. It really depends what level you're at. I would, playing and reviewing is very important. Like playing and maybe using, if you're a beginner, I would read Go books and Joseki stuff. Because learning the basic Josekis is really important. And then like after you get out of the basics, like after you kind of get out of the basics, I think like just playing and reviewing is probably the best way. I'm how to play and haven't played a single game yet. I think like, after you read the basic rules, I think you should start playing games. Because playing games is really the best way for you to get a sense of how the game is played, more or less. If you don't play games, it's going to be very hard for you to improve. This is actually more in trouble than I thought, actually. I think I let him get too thick in the other parts. Oh no, you should if you're going to play, you have to cut. You absolutely have to cut if you're going to play this. The whole point was threatening this group. You 100% have to cut here. Yeah, read the Go books on basically how to play and then start playing. Maybe with players that are a little bit stronger than you at first. And then like, you just move up that way. I'm more than happy to take this. This is quite a bit of territory. He does get this corner. I mean, I don't think this actually works. Here, you can just jump. Although, like, the liberties are a little tight, so maybe. I do have to make something of this here, actually. So this actually might be in a bit of trouble. Make sure that this is actually okay. If it's not okay, then that's quite a bit of, that's an issue for me. Actually, I probably should have done this instead. A friend of mine told me to read all books first, get familiar with it. Theory crafting is, I don't know if I completely agree with that. Theory crafting is fine, but I think there's like, you should read like a certain number of books before you start playing. Like you have to be familiar with the overall rules. But after that, like playing against like 20 Qs or something. I think like just in a couple of weeks you can get to like 15 Q or maybe not a couple of weeks. Like I would say like a month or so you can probably get to like 20 Q or so, and you basically understand like the basic formula of how to play Go. And then it's just a lot of playing and reviewing, and then like listening to like maybe like listening to some lectures as well on how to actually play, on how to improve. The thing is, like, you know, Colossus, he actually is really good at teaching, the Colossus guy, he's actually pretty good at teaching, like, lower ranked players to move up. His method works up to, like, a certain extent. I won't say it, like, it works indefinitely, but it does work up to a certain extent. This is, so if he actually does that, that's quite big as well. I probably shouldn't connect this, but I do want this stone later. And that kills this Atari here. Actually, I shouldn't have connected that at all. I wanted this stone. This is really big. Yeah, look, read the openings in the Josekis, because you need to know how to respond. You need to actually know how to respond. Like, you do need to know how to respond to certain Joseki invasions. If you don't know how to respond to certain Joseki invasions, you're going to take a lot of losses. You're definitely going to take a ton of losses if you don't know how to respond to certain Joseki invasions. So those are pretty critical. Those are definitely pretty critical. Probably shouldn't have done that either, but there's not much territory here. Yeah, I should have just went ahead and taken the stone. This is really big. That was really big. That was my mistake. I can always just do something like this as well to break apart this territory a little bit. This is Sente, by the ways. That's pretty big as well. Playing this is Sente, I have to respond. It's fine. Dude, is there something in here? I don't think so, right? I'm going to see if he knows how to play this. Because if you don't know how to play this, I can make this a ko. If you know how to play this, this doesn't work. But if you don't know how to play this, I can possibly make this a ko. I don't know if that works here. I think it would work elsewhere, maybe. I don't know if it actually works. It might, I guess. Let's try this. Remember, I can sacrifice these three if I can get the corner here. I think that's cool. The question is, I don't know if I have any big Ko's. Why would you do that? I actually have no idea if this works or not. I'm gonna guess it does. I'm pretty sure. The thing is that now he has to worry about this. See, if he doesn't do that, I do this, I'm alive. Okay, I can't do... let's get this out. I'm pretty sure like it's a ko now, and it's a really big ko. I think he's gonna end up killing himself. No, he's gonna end up killing himself because now there's no ko. He's just dead. The corner invasion's a tricky one because I don't have to do this. Like, I have 2 liberties here, so I can just play this. This will be a good corner. This actually will be a pretty good corner lesson. Hey guys. There's nothing in this corner. I think he just misread. I think he misread the liberties here. The corner invasions are pretty complex. So I think he just misread my corner invasion. There was not supposed to be anything there. There was definitely not supposed to be anything there. It was at the least it was ko, and I think if he just played that right initially, there wouldn't actually be any ko either. Oh yeah, I'm definitely winning now. He doesn't have any territory. I don't know if I was winning before this, though. I'm definitely winning now. Shoot. That's right. The whole board is a mess, a little hard to sketch out. It is, but he, like, if you look at Black's territory, he doesn't have much. He has this, maybe a couple points here, a few points here, and that's it. When he had this corner, I think he was probably ahead, but without that corner, like, he's not ahead. You remember, I have this corner, I have a couple points here, a couple points there, a couple points here, so yeah. I think there's a problem here if he plays this. I don't think I have any points in here if he actually plays this. Because there's a problem with this squeeze. What, the bottom of the board? Tell me the number variable thing here. I'm not really sure what you're talking about at the bottom of the board, Jay. This is alive, because I killed those two. It's this, like, whole... formed by black stones? Which one? A circle. Like just tell me the grid position. Tell me the grid position. I don't... if you don't tell me the grid position, I don't really know what you're talking about. So tell me the grid position. J4. Oh, this? There's nothing wrong with this. I can't do anything. This is, I mean, like, this is just territory. This is just territory. This is not his territory. This group is actually alive. So that's not his actual territory. I'm actually going to connect this just to avoid problems because I don't like this shape. I don't think I have to do that, but I don't like this shape. But yeah, this group is alive. Play here because we cuts that. That's problematic. This I don't have to answer. Sorry. You should definitely connect that. I am not going to answer that. But I will connect this. That's not big. Oh, if he plays this, there's no points in here. Actually, no, there is. I might as well connect that. If he plays this, I can come this way. Oh no, there's points there. This is a putback, so like if you're a beginner, you need to get familiar with this shape as well. I think he was probably ahead when I think he was definitely ahead when he had this corner. He needs to fix one more in here. Otherwise, I have H3 and then K4. Yep. I don't think that's actually a point, but whatever. There's like 1 or 2 points here. I don't need to connect this. I'm going to make this point first because since both these groups are alive, there's no point in connecting that. I should have done this first because that's Sente. Oh, this is the end of the game. We're definitely nearing the end. This is like the very end of the game. Actually, there might be a problem in here now. See, Atari.
You're yummy.
Do this. Atari, I have to connect. I don't think there is, but we'll see. Usually in this case, I would just play a fixing move here, but I don't actually think there's anything here. I think the game's pretty much over at this point. There's no more points. He has to fill this in. I have to take this, but that's about it.
Pass.
I'm going to take this. He has to fill this in. I think that's it, yeah.
Pass. Remove the dead stones.
Yeah, this was definitely the game right there. I think he was at least 10, 15 points ahead without me killing this, because that killed a lot of his points as well. This is actually an interesting study, because I'm almost sure.
You have won.
So I'm almost sure there was actually nothing over there. I guess he wasn't ahead by 10. Like, game was pretty even before this corner, but I play here, he plays this, I play this. I think you just do this. Do that. And then if you do this, then white's just dead. If he does this, then white's just dead as well. So that's how you play this. You have to wait for him to do this, and then you do this. Now you can't when he does this, you can't block, because then he has a ko. So that's how that corner works. Let me actually just go ahead and review this. It's fine. This is also fine. Generally, like in an even game, approaching out here is better. It's fine. The other two ways you can approach this is by doing this or doing this. But this is fine. Force over, kick up, kick here. It's fine. This is not a good move. I just didn't want him to have R8, and I'm betting that I can outplay him basically here. This is okay. I don't know. I might have just, if I was black, I might have just come over top, because this is a very uncomfortable position for white. So in this specific situation, you might just want to be more threatening and do something like this for white, because these two stones are very, very weak. After I get all those jumps, the stones aren't that weak anymore, but if it's just these two, like, I might want to do this and just threaten these two more. This is fine, though, getting some more territory. I'm going to play this just to strengthen this a little bit. That's fine. Jump, jump. I'm going to play here to threaten these two, because I already have this kick. Jump. This is fine as well. I'm going to play down here. Usually, like, white wouldn't play down here, and that was probably a mistake, because white always has this here. So if black tries to threaten white's group, he can just take the stone. These stones are very, very pressured. I jump out. I probably wouldn't do that right now. I would definitely keep the pressure up on this group. I would probably go ahead and do something like this. Because there is a chance for a breakthrough here, and these stones, I can probably make two eyes by doing things like this, but that means it solidifies your bottom. This is not a good move. And the reason why is, like, because I've already played this, there's no territory down here. So at the most, you're going to be able to get these couple of points here. So at this point, you know, when I do this, I would either keep the pressure. I would actually just keep the pressure here, or just cut off the escape route here. You want to keep pressure on these stones. Because it's very dangerous for white. This is a big mistake. Well, I said this in the game. This is a big mistake. This makes white so much stronger up here. It destroys like it kind of like really destroys your attack on both these stones and these stones. So you can't exchange this right now for the bottom territory. And because I have this stone, the bottom doesn't have much territory anyways. I'm going to come up this way. These stones aren't that weak because there's all this stuff down here. You might be better off doing this. Which ones are already connected? No, these stones, I mean, you could... Oh, before white does this, before white does G16, these stones are not connected. So that's why, like, you know, that's why I said, like, when I actually do something, when I actually, when I do this, you should probably just cut off. You can easily just cut off the back. If you do that, I'm cut off. Like, this is a very big mistake here. Here, you probably should just do this. Because this is honestly like a big move to actually kill white's eye shape. Letting me get this move builds my eye shape a lot. This might actually be better right now. I mean, I guess you could cut here, but then, yeah, this is pretty, I guess it's pretty hard. Yeah, it's a pretty hard choice. I guess, yeah, this is fine now that I look at it. This move is fine. That is probably a mistake. That's probably better. Because if you do something like this, then white's still cut off. White doesn't even have one eye down here. So he has to somehow make two eyes up here, which is very difficult. Letting me get this move... this you 100% should take this. Even if you don't want to play the code, you need to take that. Because here, like, here if I don't... Like, here, if I don't make a move later, there is actually, like, you know, you can always try to fight the Ko and cut my group off. So it's still kind of problematic. Letting me take this stone is a massive, massive mistake, because now this basically settles this group. I'm going to go ahead and just make sure I'm alive. This is actually pretty good. Here's the thing. You absolutely have to cut here. That was the whole point of playing this move. Because without threatening these stones and cutting, like, this move becomes completely pointless. And there's also not that much I can do with this cut. There's not that much I can do with a cut. You know, the thing is, like, you have to remember, like, these are teaching games and they're unranked games. So you can actually afford to experiment. You can actually afford to experiment. One of the ways to play Go is to play a lot of games, review them, and then, like, as you play more and more games, like, you'll get familiar with the shape and what you can and can't cut. But here, like, if you played enough games, you know, like, you almost have to cut here. If you cut here, then if you actually do cut here, then white has a serious problem in here. Because it's really hard, if not impossible, to actually make two eyes in this area. Realistically, I probably should have just played this way instead. Just to strengthen my chances of actually, like, making eyes in this area. Maybe even this. But, you know, it's a very hard call. But not cutting basically makes this move kind of pointless. And it's not like your shape here got any better. Your shape here still kind of sucks, so it doesn't really help you. I just wanted the Sente here. That's what, you know, like the whole reason I did this is just because I wanted the Sente here. If I connected, it would be Gote, so I just wanted to get a Sente here. The best response here, I mean, this is going to be better than, this response is going to be better than this, but technically here you don't have to respond. None of your groups are actually under threat, and the 2 stones aren't that big, so you don't really have to respond here. Got a response. I'm going to play this and just take this territory. This is a big move. I'm going to make sure I'm alive. I feel like if you just play something like this, like you're not going to be able to kill this down here. You're not going to be able to kill this group of stones down here. So it's best just to get what advantages you can. The eye is too wide down here for you to kill right now. I might have actually messed up here by playing this move, because I can't allow you to do, I shouldn't allow you to actually play this. I should not allow you to play this. I'm not really sure how, oh wait, I can't actually allow you to do this, so this actually might be dead. I can do that, but that's Ko. So yeah, there actually might, like after I play this, there actually might be some issues with this, like this group's survival. So you should have probably done this immediately. I don't think I don't think you can, I really don't think you can kill, I don't think you can kill it. I actually don't think you can kill it because you have to play up here. I'm pretty sure like sure overall it's alive. I think it's actually alive. I did make a mistake here, but I'm pretty sure this is like overall this is actually alive. Because you do have to like, see, the thing is like there's actually a couple of problems for you. So, I mean, if I do any of these things, it's actually alive. I'm pretty sure this is actually alive if I play it right. Yeah, this is a big mistake by me, because if you play this, I'm in real trouble. If you actually Atari, I'm actually in real trouble. I could do this, but then this isn't really alive either. But then if I do this, you know, like the problem is if I do something like this, right? Like the problem is if I do something like this. There's always the consideration up here that this could actually be kind of weak. But I'm actually pretty sure that this is alive. I'm pretty sure this is actually alive. If I just do like something like that, because if you because like the thing is you always have to guard against this up here, and if I do something like this, I'm basically alive, because you don't have enough liberties to actually kill me, and this group is alive. I'm pretty sure this group is alive down here. Yeah, but this move is a big mistake. I can't let you Atari this. This is also a mistake here. That cost you a couple points. I should not have connected that. This is way, way bigger. Yeah, like I said, this corner evasion shouldn't have worked at all. You just played that. You just played this move one move too early. That's how you kill this group. It's basically alive because you had a weak point up here. It's more or less alive because you had a weak point up there. This is a ko. You should instantly take this. This is 100% a ko. And this is a ko that favors you because I think it's a multi-step process for me. Because now since you did this, this is also still a ko, but now it's much easier of a ko for me. Here, yeah, you should have done this. Like, I just wanted to actually make this an easier ko for me. That was my entire goal for this, to make this an easier ko for me. The cut shouldn't have worked. If you play this immediately, I can't really do much. I mean, I can do that, but this doesn't really work because if you just play P14, you kill these 4. So that would have actually never worked. Yeah, you needed to play this, and at this point you just needed to play this and let me live, more or less. Actually, no, this would still be ko. But it would be like a one-step ko now. This is still ko. I would have to fight the ko still. But this is a very, very dangerous ko for you now. Because you can actually end up losing this entire group. So the thing is, like, you play too many moves before taking the ko. You definitely need to just take the ko. Also, like, I think I messed up here because I don't actually think that this was actually alive. I could have tried to kill this, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter to me because this was already dead. So after this takes, like, after I take this, the game is basically over. So yeah, remember this invasion. Remember this invasion. Like, you played this too early. You should just block. When I Hane, you do this. That's how you kill this group. All right, guys. That's going to be the lesson for today. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button, and I will be back tomorrow. Thank you, and have a nice day, everyone.